So now let's talk about the showdown. We got game day headed out to Norman this weekend. Our balls look really good. We could have won that game 150-0 on Saturday if we wanted to there, but wound up winning 71-0 this thing. Oklahoma had a little battle with Tulane. They jumped out early 21-6 at the half, but let Tulane climb back in that game. They did wind up sneaking in there and getting you the backdoor cover for you Sooner bettors this weekend at minus 13.5, I believe is where it closed. But now right here early on, we got Oklahoma as 7-point dogs at home against our Vols, plus 205 on the money line for the Sooners, minus 250 for Tennessee, and a total of 57.5. That is minus 110 both ways there. What you think here, Bob?
So they're basically predicting like 32-25. My inclination on this game, there'll be a lot of handicappers that bet Oklahoma based on preseason power ratings. The public was early on hammering Tennessee. It was rising. Now some sharps and some others came in on the Sooners, and that's why it's down to 7. Someplace you could get it as low as 6.5 at various times this week. The preseason line on this was 3 for Tennessee. I was hoping to get that line and to hammer it, but now it's at 7. If under 7, I would take Tennessee. I would not touch the Sooners with a 10-foot pole unless he gets to double digits, which ain't going to happen. Probably my favorite bet on this would just be Oklahoma under 24.5, 25 offensive points. The big question with Oklahoma's got a good defense, no question about that. How they match up against Josh Heupel and his return to Norman. And there's some people who think, he has very fond feelings for Oklahoma being a Heisman-winning quarterback that led him to the national championship. He was also fired by Oklahoma a few years ago. That was his biggest setback in coaching. And he was passed over repeatedly for potential head coaching gigs at Oklahoma. So the Venables was chosen over him. So he might have something else to prove back in Norman to the ADs and the board and the big donors there. The people assuming he'll go light on Oklahoma are mistaken. So if he gets a chance, he will absolutely run it up. Now, whether he gets that chance is an open question because Oklahoma's defense is legit. Their offense, though, stinks. The question is, does their offense stink because they've had all these injuries? They've missed several offensive linemen, 4 out of 5 wide receivers, with a running back. I mean, it's been a complete Army, hospital unit. Question is, how many of those guys come back? If they get them all back, Oklahoma, we may see a whole different offense. But there's another example of people who get real excited about a high school recruit and, big 5-star recruit, so much so that Oklahoma preferred Jackson Arnold over Dylan Gabriel. That's, it wasn't just getting the check from Oregon. It was because Gabriel was going to get passed over by Arnold this season if he had stayed. So, but Arnold under pressure is horrendous against Temple. Struggled. People don't know it because of all of Temple's turnovers in the game, and Temple's not a good team, one of the worst in FBS. And then struggled badly against a Houston team that UNLV made dice meat out of a week or two before, and then struggled badly against Tulane, which Kansas State had no problem moving the ball on. They just gave up some big plays. So, this is if I had lean Tennessee under 7. Would never touch Oklahoma unless they got to like 13, 14, something like that. It's not going to happen. Lean Oklahoma team total under. And here's a little fact about Heupel. Heupel's games at home go over. His games on the road go under. It's been an MO with him his whole time at Tennessee. And Oklahoma's defense is tough and legit. So I would see something more like 27-17. And that's substantially under the 57.5. But I think this total will only rise, so you can wait. Almost all the numbers in the 50s are big in college football. So it wouldn't surprise me to see this game even hit 60, depending on, especially if the normies bet. Because if you just look at the final score and you look at preseason ratings, you probably think Oklahoma's an explosive, dynamic offense. They are terrible so far. So unless they get everybody back and Jackson Arnold is much better than he has appeared so far under pressure. And remember, this is a bad Oklahoma offensive line right now. We'll see what happens with the injuries against Tennessee's best defensive strength, which is their defensive line. And ask NC State how that worked out.
Right.
So it wouldn't surprise me to see a Tennessee blowout in this game. The only lid on that is Oklahoma's defense is legit.
They are legit. And, I look at this one kind of like I looked at that Tennessee-NC State game where I feel like the books are kind of begging you to take Oklahoma right here. You look like you're getting a full touchdown, and all the people that don't dive into all these different things in the metrics and see the injury reports and the lackluster offense from Oklahoma early on in the first 3 weeks here, a lot of people think you get the Sooners at home by a touchdown. Shoot, that's money in the bank. I think they're begging you to take Oklahoma right here, and I think it's another spot for the Vols.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all. It'd be a great win for Tennessee to get this because otherwise it's pretty much a 2-game schedule. It's Georgia and Alabama. But Tennessee absolutely has to have this game to have any shot at the playoff.
I agree. This is the biggest measuring stick game so far, which is normally this game is usually plugged with the Florida game. It has been in past years around the same time, third, fourth week of the season. And that's also the game that's always been our measuring stick for the season. Maybe we replace that with an Oklahoma team now.
So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely not going to be Florida this year.
Oh, no, absolutely not. We should beat them by 40. I hope we do, too. We owe them a couple.